Hello everybody and welcome to part 9 of the Fiesta build. In today's episode we are fabricating and fitting the Watts linkage. For those who don't know, the Watts linkage prevents the axle from moving left to right. It's on a pivot in the middle of the axle, and it mainly is a necessary thing for the race car and for other like big powered cars. So on screen now you can see Dad's just welding in the pivot. Now obviously we've got to weld all 4 sides, so it did take quite a lot of time, but it's an essential part of the build. We did take quite a long time to do this, spent a couple days on it really, but it's definitely worth it, and we're probably going to get it powder coated or painted to prevent it from like rusting and all that. We'll definitely do that before it gets fitted for the final time, but we just wanted to kind of get everything in place and make sure it all fits and works as it should. It did take us quite a long time to make sure and check everything, make sure it was level in the car. We also did have to cut out some of the fuel tank had been moved to the rear of the car, and that meant we had to move what had been built as a box for it to sit in. We had to move that back a bit and make a new piece, but that's all done as well, just so we could fit the Watts linkage in and fit the pivot behind the axle. The axle's come off now after this episode, and is going to be cleaned up and ready, so that when we get the gears and the limits of diff, that can be fitted, and then the axle can go up for its last time, and that'll be that side done that side of the car done. So yeah, as you can see, I'm just finishing off both sides of the pivot, but I'll leave you guys to watch this and come back shortly. So as you can see now, we are just adding in the support bars. This is more as a extra strengthening tool. It is sort of required, so definitely we thought add a couple of these in both sides, and that'll make sure that the Watts linkage works as it should and shouldn't run into any issues down the line. Again, had to weld it up all 4 sides, so it was a bit tricky. Did take some time, but definitely worth it. Yeah, like I say, done it both sides. So Dad's just finishing off the first one. Let me repeat this 4 times.
I think one of the quads.
And now finally we have moved on to actually fitting the Watts linkage onto the car. So you can see we did spend quite a long time lining it up, and then Dad started welding it, so I held it up, set the camera up, and then we welded all 4 sides again of both the bars. Welded quite nice, to be fair. We did obviously clean the chassis of the car up before, so that although it might not look clean from everywhere else, but we grinded the area that was going to be welded in, so that's how we got a nice clean weld on it all. Again, it was quite a thick weld. We wanted it to be quite thick, more strength obviously. So again, both sides, and we did obviously check between sides that it hadn't moved, but nothing changed. It was all good. So we then finished welding it all up, and moved on. We now moved on cutting the Watts linkage bars that run from the centre pivot to the both ends of the axle. We measured and checked them beforehand, but the special, we used a special piping, we didn't have a lot of it. It's actually very lightweight but very strong. That's exactly what you want to build a race car out of. But we've done both sides, so you can see we've just done the second one now, and then we're going to fit some rose joints into it, and then we can actually test fit those out. And we didn't get any footage of that, unfortunately, because my phone did actually die, but it was we did get it all done, and it looks so much better than it did before. Underneath it's starting to look a bit more like a race car. So as you can see, Dad's just welding in the rose joint now. This is obviously an essential part because we want it to be able to swivel, so that it can actually function as it is. I'm not going to pretend to know loads about it, but I have a basic understanding of how it works. But yeah, that's sort of, we're coming to the end of the video now. It was a very long process, could be quite boring to watch sometimes, but it's good to keep track of what's going on, and obviously I'm learning as we go along as well, which is always good. So there will be a new episode out shortly, within about a week's time, doing the radiator piping. But yeah, that's it for today's video. Stay tuned for upcoming videos. If you enjoyed, please subscribe and like and comment for more.